Good morning and welcome. It's Good Morning Anambra Monday episode, and we are here being the 25th day of April 2022, and of course it's World Malaria Day. You know, a great day to create awareness on the dangers of malaria and of course what we can do as a people to get rid of malaria from our areas. My name is Nonya Nwokoye, welcoming you to this show this morning. Join us because it's fully packed to make your Monday worth the while. And let's welcome you to the press review for today. All right, you're welcome to the press review. On the press review this morning, I have two gentlemen in the studio to help look at the papers or see what the papers are saying this morning. And as usual, we have a lot of papers, the Vanguard, the Nigerian Tribune, the National Star this day, of course, stories making the headlines on ABS website. I have Kanayo Obidibo in the studio. Welcome, sir.
Good morning.
All right, and I also have Choka Uzezie. Welcome to the studio.
Videos, welcome. Good morning.
All right, we'll begin with looking at stories making the headlines or trending on ABS website. Soludo asks church to support government to achieve vision. Anambra State government to partner communities to maintain functional health centers. Mother's Sunday, cleric louds contributions of mothers to families communities. Today is World Malaria Day, and of course, SANU NASU extends strike by 1 month. A lot of stories here. I don't know, where do you want to begin with?
Yeah, I think I'm interested in government partnering with communities to maintain functional health centers. Okay. You see, health center is very, very critical in our communities as a result of what we observe because of a poor hygienic environment and individuals, most especially children, contact diseases, and health centers are the primary place they will run to. A child is running, kind of a malaria hit, the mother will take him or her to the health center, and you find out that most health centers does not have professionals there. I have one in my community, in Agro community in Oka. It's a health center today. We mop up funds to pay the staff. And it was a federal government turnkey project. Still, we don't have resident doctor. Nurses are being employed by the community. So what I'm trying to hit on is that it is very important that health, one of the major critical area of human endeavor, should be looked into.
And do you think when we were growing up, there's this visit by health officials to families.
Yes.
Don't you think it's important to resuscitate that?
We have a School of Health Technology here in Anambra State. It was in the former Eastern region. We had one in Aba. Then Aba moved. When we had the state created, we came in, we had the one at Oji. When Anambra was created out of, we had the one at Obosi. So these are where we train health inspectors. You see them with their khaki and white, both men and women. But you find out that it is not popular again, and it is wrong. Usually, you see some of those health inspectors even at the abattoir, where they will inspect. You see them at the palm wine, selling spots, where they will inspect. But it appears that when we introduce NAFDAC, and NAFDAC, everything you see now has a NAFDAC number. It is assumed to be edible, it is assumed to be healthy, but it is wrong. Like you rightly said, we need to introduce health inspectors. They go about in those days. I remember one popular man who used
and you know that it awakens this spirit of cleanliness.
That's right.
Because when you realize that they will come. Whether you like it or not, you get
must
to rise up because they will sanction you when your environment
That's
is
right.
dirty.
I remember Otiji now. Otiji was a very health inspector here when we were small. If you hear his Triumph motorcycle pass, it is something else because he's going for a function. Like where at the meat where they sell meat. Meat that he has seen that is overnight at a Kenweda there. He would, continue. He will now trash them up. So Otiji is somebody that nobody dares. Health inspector in here in Oka. So these are the things, like you said, we need to, look into our health system. It is a very critical area. Look at, we are now coming out of COVID. We are coming out of several diseases that comes up. We need education. We need advocacy.
All right, let's talk about today being World Malaria Day.
Yes.
Let's link it.
In fact, that's what where I want to come up with. You see, one, malaria is one of the major killers in Africa and sub-Saharan because of the nature of our environment. It helps in the breeding and spread of the vector, that's mosquito. Now, we are now in rainy season. So I think every person, every family, every household should take care to keep their environment clean. All disused containers should be packed appropriately or turned upside down so that these vectors, the mosquito, will not have any breeding
places.
That's where I also want the government to come in, because we're talking about partnering, all right? Government should do it needful. If you go all over Oka, you see that many people are now dredging their gutters. But the challenge you now have is who will cut away the debris they remove from there. Because stagnant waters is the breeding place for mosquito and other health, other diseases. So if government will, step up their own game, you find out that it will be easy. And then again, like close to what you said about health inspectors, in as much as health inspectors is still very, very important, I think we have more effective means of still spreading these things. Just like if you see what other countries are doing, especially something like Japan, families should make this maxim, cleanliness is next to godliness, although there's no ways in the Bible anyway, but it's a maxim that people believe is even in the Bible. But then you find out that if you imbibe this in kids, at home, in school, in churches, everywhere, they have no option. And then the adults also should help, because the kids emulate. If you now move around everywhere, on the express everywhere, you see litter death. People will drink.
I really believe that grooming the kids to key into.
We should set the example. It's not just grooming them. When you are setting bad example.
I know, because I remembered there was a time my son entered school newly. I was bringing him back from school, so he now drank I think Coke. So I wind down the glass for him to drink. He refused.
Yes.
I'm sorry. He refused that. He kept it on the floor until we got home. He had to go and drop it. So I think that is a very good one that we all should learn. All right, let's move on now. Let's see the first paper for review this morning. The National Star newspaper, New National Star. Francis Macron defeats Le Pen to win second term. Ohaneze Oke's Igbo presidential aspirant from Southeast South says Wike Amechi are strong contenders. Federal government, Soludo government to repatriate 50,000 refugees from Niger Republic. That's coming from Senator Gobe. Oba Adeyemi made huge impact across Nigeria, says Makinde. Federal government approves review of education tax to 2.5%. 2023, Professor Abdullahi's declaration on consensus tears North apart. Kuka, Buhari's opponents responsible for delay in ending insecurity. That's coming from presidency. Lagosians will ride Blue Line train by first quarter 2023, coming from the governor, Sanwo-Olu. All right, a lot of stories in front of that paper. Let's look at our own story here. Ohanaeze Ndigbo, okay, in Igbo presidential aspirants for the Southeast South.
Yes. I don't want to look at it as a new phenomenon in politics in Nigeria. It is quite well overdue that Ndigbo, whether the larger community of Nigeria likes it or not, if we are actually believing that we have reconciled to move this country forward, should be allowed to take a drive on the presidency. They do know that the Igbos are quite resourceful, we have capable hands. For the fact that we are having internal problems should not give them the leeway not to allow an Igbo president for now. So I am actually appealing to the Ohanaeze to drive it more. When the Yorubas wanted it, the Afenifere, the Nadeko, they were all over the places. They went all over. They went all over. When I mean all over the world, the Tinubus of this world were in America driving the Nadeko thing. And eventually they have produced the president. Like Oliver Twist, they want some more. And we are here. Ohanaeze has not been Aki Kenga or Ohanaeze, all this. I mean, I said it somewhere in a forum that these gentlemen, our leaders of thought, should come together. Whether we like it or not, the two major political parties is where they will go and find a place. Whether the House has liked it or not, we have robbed their back. They should rob our back too, because Ngige is there. He's been there all over. So whether the APC likes it, let them zone it. Whoever takes it is Onyibo, whether they like it or not.
All right, quickly, let's see. I don't know, they are calling on Kuka and Buhari's opponents being responsible for delay in ending insecurity. That's coming from the president.
Yes,
That
saw that.
sounds hypocritical,
Yes.
even to a deaf person in Nigeria, because we know that insecurity is one of the foundational issues that drove their right to that presidency. That was more than 7 years ago, and the whole of Nigeria relied on the commander-in-chief being a general, a retired general, to have all it takes to, end the insecurity we are in this country. But we found out that even under his very watch, that insecurity worsened, and in fact, human lives seem to be, not of any consequence anymore in the country. People die daily. In fact, insecurity has moved beyond just terrorism from Boko Haram alone. We have now many species now of insecurity. So, and attributing it to Kuka, who have been critical all over the world of any misnomer in government and governance, is sheer, hopelessness. It shows that the ruling party is yet to have a grip on even what is causing insecurity in the country, not to talk of any strategy to, remedy the situation. So I think they shouldn't raise it at all, because what he is saying is very, very germane, and nobody will fault the statements attributed to.
Okay, let's move on now. The Vanguard newspaper is next in a lineup. Let's see stories making the headlines on the Vanguard newspaper. 2023, North divided over power shift to South. With riders there, call North not ready to cede power. Source: North may produce APC PDP candidates. Niger Delta stakeholders to federal government compel IOCs to honor MOU, GMOU entered with communities. Obaseki police partner to tackle land grabbing, others in Edo. IPOB replies herdsmen on threat to take over Igbo land. Insecurity presidency blames Kuka, others for delayed delivery of 12 Tucano fighter jets. And we have stock market investors dividend earnings up to 47.1% to 1.1 trillion naira. As ROW outperforms GDP growth, inflation returns not reflecting on share price as shareholders. Dangote Cement leads with 340.8 billion naira. Imo explosion, owners of illegal refineries on the run. Consensus, fresh crisis looms in PDP as National Working Committee moves to reconcile presidential aspirants. Lack of TRCN registration, 300,000 teachers may miss out from new welfare package. How NAS illegally divert funds for constituency projects, ICPC report. French poll, Macron re-elected president after beating rival Le Pen. Rivers APC governorship poll, Prince Will steps down for coal. 2023, Anyim Obi against consensus candidacy. All right, let's look at the story of Imo explosion at this point, because seeing that picture, I thought is what one sees in horror movies, you know, and it's so pathetic to see that kind of a thing. Over 50 bodies already recovered.
You see, it is unfortunate, like he rightly said, that human life is worth nothing anymore in Nigeria as a whole. Every minute of the day you listen to news, you will be inundated with all manner of killings. For instance, we are in problem because of the importation of fuel, the high cost of it. And you find out that since government cannot put a refinery together, that people have seen it as a way of life. Communities where the pipeline, they are able to refine. So you see the ingenuity of Nigerians, that they could do that. Why wouldn't Nigeria legislate on modular refineries for people to be licensed? We talk about mining. We are not saying that we are not looking at it that people are not licensed. It is causing some havoc in some part of the northern states. Today, look at the losses that people were born.
You know, but sometimes you begin to wonder.
Yes.
Some things that happen are unimaginable.
Yes.
You know, think that something like this kind of illegal refinery, does it mean that authorities doesn't know is in existence?
Of course.
You know, just like what you talked about in the north where they mine gold and all whatnot.
Yes.
So those people that are concerned, authorities that are entrusted with this, are they not aware these things are in existence?
They have compromised. It's simple as that.
They are complicit, not just compromised. They are complicit.
So what I'm trying to say is that
if you look at what happened in Rivers,
yes,
when BK went, because of the suit air they had over the period. In fact, many people say if they wear mask sleeping.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, maybe you are exposing yourself to one situation. So you find out that DPOs are complicit, villagers are complicit, yes, youth heads are complicit, families, the owners of the land are complicit. So everybody gets a share. And because the product is not readily available at affordable price, it gives room, because if you look at the environmental degradation this illegal refinery causes around the area, you find out that owners of the land are supposed to raise alarm. But they don't. But if you see the number of people, young men, women, elderly people involved, and you see them, most of them with things linking them to that refinery. Not that they are just victims, you know, accidental victims. No, they are all aware, they are all part of the business or the illegal process. So you see, until government does the needful, how can somebody employed by government be involved, conniving with the community? And this is not just something that started today. If you look into the history of that refinery, it must have been there over
okay, now they are all on the run. You can run, but you can't
they
hide,
will start
it again. Are they actually looking for them?
I'm assuring you that in a span of 4 weeks, they are setting up another refinery. You can go to bank with that.
Business must continue because
they must earn a living.
It's lucrative. So people must go into it and do the business. And I don't blame Nigerians. You don't provide job. Why can't Nigerians put a modular refinery by the state? Let the states. If individual could do it, state could do that too, and then employ people and then refine this product and sell to us. How much is kerosene now? These are byproducts of refined petroleum. But today, people are adulterating the same kerosene, and it's causing havoc in families. It's killing people. So Nigeria, we have bad leader, and it's all about bad
restructuring. Go back to restructuring.
That is leadership.
We have the local governments are not working. The state governments are not doing the needful. At the center, they are only looking at what comes in through petroleum or what they can borrow.
They are not equally helped because leadership is it starts from the home.
Is it not
the community,
anyway, you are right.
The state? It's strata.
When the father and the mother are busy looking for what the family will eat, the children, the family is left at their own devices. And when they grow up that way, they become dysfunctional members of society.
Okay, quickly, let's move on. Nigerian Tribune. Let's see stories making the headlines on the Nigerian Tribune. Adebanjo, Clark, governors, others parley over 2023 Southeast presidential agenda today. Presidential primary concern over APC delegates list. What Alafin told me during 2015 campaign made me win 2019 election. That's coming from Makinde. Says I am not killing Obas. Traditional worshippers condemn. Open display of Alafin's corpse. Bala Saraki, Northern Elders Forum disowns consensus arrangement. Illegal refinery owners must be held responsible for deaths. That's coming from the presidency. And the LEA seizes cocaine in tea bags. Africa suffered over 600,000 malaria deaths in 2021. That's coming from WHO. Constitution doesn't make nomination fee compulsory for aspirants. Coming from Falana. With traders, the Knox APC PDP on illegal demand says Supreme Court okayed 100,000 naira administrative charge. Let's take a look at that story. Each political party pegged their fee. APC coming up with whopping 100 million naira, and every Nigerian will like. Last year, okay, no, sorry, not last year. In the last election, it was 20 million naira, and the current president said he was not able to pay, or he was not able to pay the fee of 20 million. Now it's 100 million. How many people can afford that?
What came to my mind 2 days ago when the news started making waves is this a sign that the government did well? If at the time you picked your form for the presidency, you paid 20 million. People paid because he was claiming he doesn't have any money. People have to put up a house for him, buy his clothing, and then raise the money for the
sorry, I think we have a caller here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Comrade Martin from Niger State.
Basi, you're welcome.
I want to comment on the issue of the presidency alleging Kuka and the enemy of Buhari to say that the enemy to insecurity is persisting. Okay. I want the president of Uganda to say something about Gumi, who is going into the bush and sitting down with the bandits. People asking AK-47 if Gumi can know where they are. Then what Uganda has to say. I am seeing them as a support that there is no sincerity in them. They are not alleging Kuka. And for somebody to tell you your mistake or your mistake, it's only trying to help you out so that you will know how to correct yourself. So I want the presidency to ask Gumi to sit there where all these parties are in the bush, and that is one. On the issue of this Igbo State explosion, this illegal refinery. By now, the head of the policemen in that state supposed to have been removed completely. The head of the civil defense, the head of the GSS, like that is supposed to have been on suspension. They cannot tell me that they don't know that all these things are going on in that area, and that they must have been collecting their results and see the life of people wasted. There are innocent ones that are not part of that business. So the president did not only to fish out the operators, but all the security chiefs of that state, like that they should be on suspension. And that is my own contribution this morning.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, now we are still talking about what Falana said about the fees for the picking of the forms. Now he said there's something he said there. It says the Supreme Court okayed 100,000 naira administrative charge for, I think, for every aspirant that wants to pick a form.
But like the Constitution made it, the party supremacy, the party decides how
much to sell
how
forms.
to screen out the candidate. So maybe that sum is a sort of filter so that they are sure that people coming for the positions are not hunger driven. It might be a logic. It might be also a way to raise funds for the running of the party for the next 4 years.
I hope it will also make way for the young ones to be part of what
Of course,
happening.
I'm not supporting it, but on my own, I'm just saying that if the masses are very critical, by the fees set by some parties, they will know whether that party is interested in developing or working when they get to power. All right? So when in a troubled and challenged and distressed economy, you are not using criteria that will bring out the best person for positions. Rather, you are looking at money. The highest bidder gets forms before you start other shenanigans to decide who, handles or bears the flag for the party in a particular election. That will show the voting masses, the voting population, the party even to vote for.
And I equally had a discussant in a program talk about that when somebody pays such huge amount, that it could be part of the problem we are having in politics today, that eventually the person goes in and starts to recoup the money.
The point is this. The point is
even the people that, like look at what APC, I think one of the headlines we mentioned it, that already there are some splinter groups in APC are already hammering on that the delegate list is very wrong. I think they are between 7 and 9 they're going to have their grassroots primary to select the delegates that will go for the actual final convention. So now what happens is this: when even party members want to see who is wealthier, who is more ready to throw about funds, they are interested in person because they believe that what they get through the election process is what they will have for the next 4 years. So I think Nigerians for now, the voting public for now, don't understand what they want from their leaders. We are more reactionary to issues. When something goes bad, we now start looking for who to blame. But if you want the right thing, we should be critical of all the process. And if the population, if the masses are critical of these processes, I don't think any party will have the audacity to come up with such a...
But the point remains that there should be a constitutional provisions for all these things. Constitution towards above every other issue. Why would Nigeria copy democracy, the kind of presidential system of government from America? I did not hear how much Biden paid for nomination fee. It was not at that. Even Macron, we didn't listen. Everybody is listening to the news. How much did he pay for nomination form? And what they call expression of interest. So why would Nigeria, with our poor economy, because it is poor, be thinking of merchandising form to mop up funds for parties, not even talking about how the government will be run to affect the life of the Nigerian people. You see? So I'm disturbed that we are talking about how much funds. During the First Republic, we did not hear of who and how much that Awolowo paid, Zik paid, Akintola paid. So why did we at this point in time, now trying to, merchandise form, trying to commercialize forms?
Will always say, how did we get here?
Yeah.
All right.
So are we the cause or are we the cause?
All right, the program is the press review and analyzing our national dailies on ABS television. Remember, it's audience participatory. We have a phone line on your screen to call and make your own opinion count on any issue raised here this morning. Now, let's move on to the This Day newspaper. Let's see stories on this day. Oil theft. Navy seizes 6 million liters of stolen crude from illegal refiners. With right there, Buhari mourns over 100 persons killed in Imo explosion, says it's national disaster. Insists those responsible must be brought to justice. Directs security agencies to clamp down on oil theft. Sanwo-Olu, Lagos rail system to commence operation first quarter 2023. And Keyamo beats Baghdad final farewell. All right, NEF, we are not involved in PDP consensus arrangement. And 2023, Aisha Buhari advises presidential aspirants to pick women as running mates. Now, there's something I would want us to look at in this issue of oil theft, where the presidency is talking about, bringing to book all those involved and direct security agencies to clamp down on oil theft. My question now is, why must we continue to wait in this country until calamities have befallen some people before action will be taken to restore, what is supposed to be, or the right thing to be done?
What we all have come to realize, that we have bad leadership. We have bad leadership. I don't blame the followers, because when you look at the cows moving around the road with the Fulani and their stick, one of them is in front. The other cow follows the man that is calling the cow to follow him, and they don't stray, which shows leadership. Now, in Nigeria, our leaders from top to the bottom are not showing no leadership. And as a result of that, it's like, leaving the sheep to go astray. So nobody does anything.
Because when you critically look at it, yes, all this banditry, headsmen, of, after the catastrophe, yes, or after people have been killed, yes, you now see that maybe a security personnel now swings into action to do something. When something, is it not possible to do something positively?
Have you not had situations in Enugu State here when the herdsmen were actually ravaging a community? The governor of the state had to call the presidency. Why would it be that way? Security of the people within the state should be very critical to the governor, and the governor should be able to call the shot. We have 82 DIV, we have the police commands there, and none of them, they were only waiting for Abuja to give order. Just look at what is happening in the Kaduna area. We have not had all about the train abduction. Do you know that some prominent Nigerians are still there? I'm talking about the military personnel, but it is kept in hiding. As we speak now, people who are supposed to be in that executive coach, there is no record of those people shown to the public. So if such a situation could arise within Abuja Kaduna axis, where we have all the security apparatus of this country, the helicopters are there. I saw why Nigerians have not been allowed, or actually allowed, to use the Tucano jet to stop all these things. We have the drones. Technology is at our fingertips to use, and spot all these things and have intelligence information, like you said, and be proactive before the incident happens.
The issue is, do we really want this stopped?
Thank you.
Do we really want this stopped? Yes, we may want it at regional level, state level, local government, town level. But then because we are not empowered by the constitutional arrangement of things now to do it, so the buck starts at the table of the federal government. So as far as I'm concerned, Buhari is incompetent. I'm saying it without any...
He's the leader.
He's incompetent. If you find out that it is too cumbersome for you to handle at that level, stop blaming people. Now, divest the powers. Send, deregulate the powers and send it down to where it's manageable. People are much in touch with reality and they can take action.
All right.
Remember, in most of the places where these things, issues take up, you will find out the DSS will come out to tell you that they kept warning about this until it happened.
Yeah.
Look at what the jailbreak in Imo State that happened. They just said over and over, even in national television, they warned about this 1 month before, 2 weeks before, a week before,
and
nothing happened.
Okay, quickly, let's move on now to the Daily Times newspaper. Buhari orders clamp down on illegal refineries. We've seen that before. Insecurity. President opens up on delayed delivery of Tucano fighter jets. Blames a former U.S. envoy, Bishop Kuka, others. Okay, let's see the next paper, the Daily Sun newspaper. Consensus, Bala Muhammad replies Tambuwal, others. APC has no reason to deny Southeast presidency. Umahi talking. Abia, Anambra, Enugu are official states, parties speaking. And we have Imo explosion deaths. Buhari orders clamp down on illegal refineries. The Okorocha calls for panel of inquiry. 2023, Southeast governors, leaders meet May 5. Insecurity operations, Kuka to blame for U.S. delay of delivering 12 Tucano fighter jets. And we have take women as running mates. Aisha Buhari urges presidential aspirant. Okay, let's look at that story before we move to the next paper, please. There was this call for the wife of the president to meet with presidential aspirants in the villa over, a dinner or something like that. And I think that happened on Saturday or Friday.
You see, sometimes when issues are raised, I feel as if some Nigerians are taking others for a fool. Why are we...
Okay, let's welcome this person. Hello, good morning. Your name? Huh? Your name and where you're calling from. Please tune down the volume of your TV set. I will host that call. All right, go on.
So, she said she wants to,
Parley with.
appeal or, advocate for women to be running mates. How does that sound? There are about 7 or 8 women in the world who are either prime ministers or presidents of their country. Then, we know in 1926 that Aba riot was raised by women. We know the Margaret Bush. We know of even Tinubu's mother was one of the leaders of those. So women have actually come of age that they should be allowed. I am a believer of affirmative action. They should be allowed to complement the men. After all, God made it so. He created Adam and he created Eve. So for that, I am also advocating that women should be considered. But as far as election is concerned, politics is concerned, nobody gives women any chance.
All right, let's see. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Your name and your location.
My name is Governor. My name is Governor Chukwuneka. I'm calling from
Idiroko.
Yes, Ogun State.
All right, go ahead. Speak up, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my contribution goes in Buhari's management in the security aspect in Nigeria. So the way the security is going in Nigeria has already this work in government attitude in security of the Nigerian citizens.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution. You know, he's actually concerned about Nigerians rising to the occasion to pick the next leader that will take Nigeria to the next level.
We actually pick.
All right, you were saying something. Okay.
No, okay. You see, as I've said it once on this channel, one thing is this: I'm not, you know, so disturbed or perturbed about all the gimmicks played by different parties to come up with who, you know,
should
where
be
they
there.
should.
Sorry, let's welcome this person. Hello, good morning. Okay.
But they should also be conscious who will solve the problem, because if you look at what is happening in most parties now, is as if every contestant or contender is trying to bring the other person down so that he will be the candidate. Nobody is talking about, these are the problems of Nigeria. These are my strategies. This is what we work. Only about a handful, or maybe say 1 or 2 persons are even saying that. Nobody is telling us this is the challenges Nigeria is having, and this is the way I'm going to resolve it. And if I'm not able to resolve it within a specific period of time, I will quit. Nobody is talking in that vein.
Have you ever seen anybody resign in this country?
No, but I'll let the person say it for the first time.
But the point
if I don't solve this problem in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, please, I will not contest again, or I will resign.
Because within the Nigerian political arena, we don't talk anymore about manifestos of parties. It is through the manifestos of parties we will look at and see what am I going to do. And at the end of the day, if I don't do it, I'll be judged. But it doesn't happen anymore. All that happens is that if you have a deep pocket and you're able to get to the presidency, get to anywhere, you muzzle it up. You start doing things like you rightly said. Nobody recalls you. Even those who voted you in. And does our vote count?
Does it mean accountability is thrown into dustbin?
Of course, yes.
Hello, good morning. Your name and your location.
I'm calling from Aba.
All right, your name? Ifoma, go ahead and talk to us.
Also turn down the...
Okay, please, in case you want to be part of the program, move away from your TV set or you tune down the volume so we can get to communicate effectively. Leadership newspaper is next in our lineup. Ango Abdullahi on his own over Saraki Bala's choice. Baba Ahmed talking. That's a northern PDP consensus now. We have riders there. Says he can't decide for the north. You're being insubordinate. Bauchi governor fires back. How we arrived at the consensus choice, Onongo. At this point, I am quitting, says Saraki. Abuja airport to introduce park and pay. Troops kill 25 as swap terrorists in Lake Chad. World Malaria Day, Nigeria seeks inclusion in vaccine rollout, and a lot of other stories. But let's look at this story of, this saying, a house divided against itself, can it really stand? That's the issue, that the problem that is trying to take place in Okoin. Is it in North? Is in the North, actually? Because in the other papers, we've seen that they are kind of disagreeing on the consensus candidate.
It has always been that now, because we remember during the time of Atiku, Babangida, one of them again, they always have this disagreement. So consensus is a question of some interest groups coming together and make pronouncement, like he said, that they are on their own, which means it is not the totality of the elders or the forum that is coming up with, this is our consensus candidates for the job. And at the same time, the MPN, the PDP that sees that they have some Southern brothers, they have the Igbo brothers, and you are still coming up, Saraki and the rest of them coming up. Are they now telling those Igbos that, listen, you are not part of this country? Even though we are in the same political party, that you are not part of us. So it is unfortunate that we should allow these things to continue. However, I don't blame them since they say politics is a game of number and anybody could win the seat. It depends now on the Igbos to come back, the Southeast. And we are talking of zoning this to the Southeast.
All right, I think that's the much time could allow us to take on this program, the press review for this morning. Thank you so much, Uzeze Choka, for being part of the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Kana Yobidibo, for your time this morning.
Thanks so much for having us.
All right, that's just about it on the press review. More coming up on Good Morning Anambra Show. Don't go anywhere.
This is ABS, Heartbeat of the East.